Hello, everyone. This is the Humble Monthly Bundle Rumble.
We're going to be reviewing.
I gotta say it faster.
The Humble Monthly Bundle Rumble.
Yeah, you've got to
Dang it,
run all the words
hard.
together so it sounds more like a rhyme.
So it's like a nightmare.
Yes, perfect.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Humble Monthly Bundle Rumble. We are here, and we are going to be reviewing the Humble Monthly Bundle for this month. The games include
The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, Final Cut. The Jackbox Party Pack 2. Poi. Planet of the Eyes. Star Wars Rogue. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Multiplayer Starter Pack. The Humble Monthly Debut Random Access Murder. And the Humble Original Disc Room.
So let's start with Van Helsing. What do you guys think?
It's basically Diablo, except you have less impact. And the skill trees are enormous.
They're huge.
And the loading times are also enormous and terrible.
Also true. We waited for like 10 years just trying to switch areas.
The loading
Every
times
time.
are really bad.
Yeah.
I played it when it was on an SSD though. It was way better. So I would recommend if you were playing it, maybe put it on an SSD.
It makes sense. It probably didn't
If at
help
all
that we were
possible.
also multiplayer. So we had to deal with connections and stuff.
So that's the thing
Even
about that game. Is I haven't really liked it in multiplayer. I've enjoyed it a bunch single player. It's way more manageable.
That makes sense. So you do also get that companion, which definitely is going to help, I think, single player, whereas multiplayer just turns it into a bit more of a clusterfuck.
I also felt like in your comparison with Diablo, Caleb, one of the main differences I found was that the sort of like semi-cutscenes that they have, they're not all actual cutscenes, but what they do have, every time you talk to anybody to get any sort of quest at any time, everyone has to go take a view of whatever you're doing. And I find that incredibly annoying. In Diablo, they have that for like some major cutscenes, but it's not
Yeah, all
every
the
time
quests,
you get a quest.
you can just click through.
For multiplayer, it's super annoying, but for single player, once again, you're doing it, so it's not as bad. And
Makes
I
sense.
actually appreciate that that game puts effort towards its storyline, unlike every other action or action RTS. I don't know how you would describe those games.
Action RPG.
Yeah, I'd call it an action RPG.
Yep.
It's got like the top-down point and click.
I don't know. Speaking of which, the combat didn't really do anything for me. Like, Caleb already mentioned that it was kind of low impact, but I don't know. I thought it was really boring.
Yeah, you sort of just stand there and hold the left mouse button.
Yeah, which I guess the
Occasionally
same
hit
can be
skills.
said of Diablo a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It felt more exciting than this, to me at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
Did
a
you
little
also
bit...
play with like tons and tons of minions?
Oh no.
Because
Yeah,
that also becomes incredibly boring.
We played with Frank, and he was the class that just spawns a ton of minions in addition
Yeah,
to your
it
regular
was-
minion you get.
Even worse.
And
He was
we
so
just
bad.
basically did nothing. Like, all the minions did everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That does sound pretty bad.
Once again, in single player, though, I've been a little bit farther, and skill combinations start to become a thing. It gets pretty fun. It's like the closest thing to scratching that Diablo itch for me that I've found. And I've tried a few other ones. I've tried Torchlight, I've tried Grim Dawn. None of those have really done it for me. This one seems to be pretty close to what I'm looking for.
Fair
So,
enough.
overall, who likes it and who don't? I don't.
Also,
I do not.
I like it. I'm the voice
So-
of dissent.
1 to 3.
There you go. All right, Jackbox Party Pack 2. Which I guess is actually several smaller games. So we'll start with Quiplash XL.
Quiplash XL is just the larger, slightly different scoring version of Quiplash, which is sort of a Cards Against Humanity type game, but fill in the blank, as Jake mentioned.
Yeah, you write in the answers rather than having pre-written answers.
And then somebody picks,
Yeah,
like,
there's
people
still a
vote between
judge.
two answers.
Yeah.
There's really two people submitting answers per question. And then, like, instead of one person judging, everybody judges. It's
Oh,
not
that's right.
have written answers.
I believe the XL version is good for streaming because you can have many, many, many audience members listening.
Yeah, so
And
the
also
audience fills in the gap of voters if you don't have enough people voting. So
Neat.
they don't necessarily get to play, but they can vote on everything. That
Alright.
game's really fun.
Yeah, no,
did it-
I've also had fun with it. They were playing it at PAX East too, I think. In just like one of the common areas. Then we got Bidiots.
Idiots is interesting.
I love it. I have played several times. It's very much a, if you remember Drawful from the first pack, I don't know if any of you guys ever played Drawful. They actually just came out with Drawful 2 recently, but essentially just draw on your phone. It's like, whatever that board game is, where you're drawing, or Telestrations. Pictionary, thank you. Except in this case, with Drawful, everybody's drawing a piece of art, and the art pieces are then auctioned off. This is Bidiots, yes. The art pieces are then auctioned off, and then you sell, like if you buy a piece of art, you sell it. And so the person who's made the most profit at the end of the game wins. But the interesting thing about the game is you each start with a certain amount of money, and then you get to bid on, and it's $3,000 what everybody starts with, you get to bid on different pieces of art. But all of the pieces of the art are very, very similar. So it may be like berries, and one of them may be like ball bearings. And one of them may be beans. Right. So they're all very, very close, and it's really hard to distinguish what is what. So sometimes you'll buy something very expensive and just get completely just slammed on the price and have to spend a lot of money, or vice versa.
The game is assigning values to these different pictures, right? So you have to try to guess which one is worth more money. And then you get certain pieces of information from like your buyers that you're bidding for, right?
Right.
And you know, like you'll know that somebody else knows that hairbrush is worth $300 or something, and then you'll be like watching that person to see what they're doing. It's pretty interesting. I think it's the most complex game that they've put out in one of those packs.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
They also
I've played.
I think my favorite part of the game, and I think a lot of people get this out of this, but there's a aspect where you can take a loan out to go buy more things. And those loans are called predatory loans, wherein you take out $1,000, but you pay back $1,500 at the end. So it's very funny, hilarious concept, but at the same time, you are like actually having to think about, okay, I'm going to take out $1,000, but I don't know, $1,500 at the end of the game. You better make this worth it.
Well, sumptuous.
All right, neat.
What's the next one?
Yeah, Fibbage 2.
Naperville Central
Fibbage 2.
located outside of Chicago, holds
Go
the
ahead.
unusual honor of
Lame.
being the only high school
Lame.
That's
Yeah, it's like Balderdash, but electronic.
Or
yeah.
Fibbage used to be really cool before Quiplash came out.
Yep.
And now that Fibbage feels way more constrained now that the freedom of Quiplash has been available, in that there is a correct answer somewhere, and you can't just make up crazy stuff because you have to be realistic about it to get points.
Makes sense.
So Fibbage 2, same as Fibbage, except there's more questions and blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Not
all right.
really quite as fun as it used to be.
Fair enough. Earwax.
I don't like earwax.
It's a
kinda
strange game. I guess I'll go to explain it. Earwax is like Cards Against Humanity, except with sounds. A lot of these things are like Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
It's very much like Cards Against Humanity, except you have sounds. So everybody gets a prompt, one person is the judge, and you get to pick from a list of certain sounds on your phone as to what you think will either be the best, most accurate to what they're asking for, or the funniest, kind of depending on who you're playing with. And then it'll go one by one, and we'll play each of those two sounds to sort of match up with whatever the prompt is. And then the judge votes, somebody gets a point.
What it sounds like to be born.
It's an interesting idea.
It's fairly well executed, with the exception of the sounds are bizarre in that it plays one, there's a half a second pause, and then it plays the other. So you don't really feel like there's a lot of
Combo.
like tied. They don't feel tied in. It just literally feels like you took two sounds and you're like, here, let me put this record on. Oh, let me take it off. Let me put this record on. All right, there you go.
Also, the list of sounds it gives you to choose from to use is just a list of words. So you don't actually know what it's really going to sound like until it plays for the judge.
Selected.
Right.
Sounds chosen are.
So I feel like that's kind of a bad
Yeah.
design.
Yeah, no,
And
would
I
agree.
think it's just not funny. Like they're trying to be like stupid, like, you know, toilet humor-esque in that game, and I don't think it's very funny.
And the winning sounds are.
Every once in a while there'll be something that contrasts with something else enough to be, you know, pretty humorous, but besides that,
All right, and the last one is Bomb Corp.
I haven't actually played this one. Aaron, you've played this one.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one here who has. Bomb Corp is essentially a more or less complicated version of Keep Talking.
Okay.
But the difference is that everybody who's playing, and it's a max of 4 players, similar to you don't know Jack. You can't play with any more than that. So you have to work as a team to defuse a bomb. The commentary in game is hilarious. The bomb defusal techniques, how it works is you get a prompt on your phone, and it gives you a page number, and you read the page numbers in order, and that tells you which wires to cut or which files to put in which order, so on and so forth, until you get everything diffused.
That's
and
pretty
unlike,
neat.
yeah, but the difference is, unlike most of Jackbox's games, this one is progressive. So you start on day 1 when you're a new hire at Bomb Corp, and you work your way up the ladder.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it gets extensively more complicated as you move on, and then they have another mode where you can do it just similar to Jackbox games, but you have to unlock everything before you can play the solo or the sort of you pick mode. But it's a great work into if you want to take somebody to play something fun and complicated like Keep Talking. This is a great sort of first step, because it is really like teamwork, trying to solve what to cut when, and some of them are very complicated. Like some of them, it says these instructions were written by a child, and so it has nothing to do with color or wires or numbers. It has everything to do with like how that child like feels about certain wires or certain locations. So it's interesting. It's bizarre and unique, but
I wonder if they actually got kids to write those.
I don't know.
That'd be funny.
It's really fun. You should try it.
All right, and that's the last of the Jackbox, so we'll move on to Poi.
Well, let's do yay or nay on Jackbox.
Oh, yeah, good call, good call.
Yeah.
Say yay.
Yeah, I think that's all yays.
Wow, 4-0. Nice.
With
Not
the
bad.
exception of Earwax. Earwax can get out.
Oh, whatever, though. It's got so many other good things.
Yep.
I mean, if nothing else, Quiplash is probably fun enough to justify the whole pack, so... In my opinion.
Yeah, Quiplash is amazing.
Cool. So now we'll move on to Poi. It's basically Super Mario 64.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it controls exactly the same. It's the exact same kind of game. You go around, you go to these worlds, you collect medals instead of stars, but, I mean, it's the same concept. It's a platformer.
I mean, it's even got the same, like, types of jumps, like, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like, if you time the triple jump out, like, you tap it at a measured pace, you get, like, the third special jump.
Mm-hmm.
You can do, like, the run forward and then suddenly jump backward to get the backflip.
Yeah.
It's,
The
like,
aesthetics are really
exactly
only
the same.
Main difference, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like it looks like a Disney Channel kind of show, like one of the newer ones. And I think it looks good. It's not really my cup of tea, but,
Yeah.
you know, it's good for what it is, I would say.
It's like a really high-res PS1 or N64 game.
Yeah,
It's got that low poly aesthetic.
sure, yeah. I feel like they're kind of going for like a nostalgia kind of vibe anyways.
Yep. The only
But,
problem I have with that is, like, if you're looking for that game, those games exist on modern consoles
Yeah.
made by first-party publishers, and they're called Mario.
Uh-huh, yeah. And I mean, there's so many now, just the Mario games, and they're all amazing. So, like, I don't know why you would necessarily want a different one.
And, like, Mario Galaxy has, like, improved upon the formula so much.
Mhm, exactly.
I don't know why you would want to play it, really, unless, I don't know. The only
mean-
way I would want to play it is if I was playing, like, Lucky's Tale on Oculus, because it's kind of the same exact thing as this and Mario 64, except for it's in VR.
Hmm.
So it's got the VR spin.
Fair enough. Oh, we should also mention it's still in early access. So,
Okay, I did not know
it's
that.
that. And I mean, I can kind of attest, it still has a few bugs to work out. I made it to the first boss in, like, the lava world. And he's supposed to, like, push you off the edge, but when he runs into you, he just kind of elevates until he's over your head. And he can't hit you anymore, and he's just floating.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was kind of where I stopped playing, because I couldn't hurt him at that point. But
Huh.
yeah.
I think it's fun
so-
if you want that, but I don't think
Yes.
that's the best one of those.
I think it's a fun game, but I'd definitely recommend all the Mario games over it. So it's kind of an awkward spot.
Yeah or nay?
I'm kind of a middle of the road.
I'm also
Yeah.
kind of a middle.
So like a May.
May.
Yeah. That sounds
May.
right.
Getting very May. Like, I'd say good game, awkward decision to just copy a better game.
Yeah.
All right, then we got Planet of the Eyes.
Planet of the Eyes is a puzzle platformer in the same vein as Limbo.
Yeah,
Controls
we
very
got a
similarly.
lot of clones kind of in this group.
Mm-hmm. It is very limbo-y. Like, to the point where it's like giant bugs that are killing you suddenly
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually played this at PAX. I don't know if it was last year or the year before.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty cool then, and it's still pretty cool, but it's essentially the same game as Limbo, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, it's got more explicit story than Limbo did. Limbo
Right.
was very much just kind of artsy, like, ooh, look at where you are, kind of didn't really
Right.
tell you anything. You kind of had to infer everything that was going on. Whereas this, you actually pick up, like, what would you call those? Like,
Audio
logs or...
logs. Yeah.
They're like cassettes, actually, in-game, I guess. And there's some guy who's telling you about some stuff. I don't know. I was not terribly into either the story nor the game itself.
I am really into those types of games, so I really like that game.
That's fair.
It's not as good as Limbo, if you've ever played Limbo. I don't think the art style is quite where it needs to be either. It's kind of got
Yeah.
this flat gradient look to it. And it's nice. I mean, I can see they're going for a certain style, but it's no Limbo, you know?
Yeah.
Puzzles are pretty easy for the most part, but I
Yeah.
still had a lot of fun going through it.
Fair enough. We want to do yeah or nays then?
Yeah, I'm on a nah.
Also, no.
I'm gonna yay.
Oh.
So, okay.
2-1.
2-1.
Wait, 1-2.
Aaron hasn't played it,
That's a
which is why
1-2.
he's refraining
Yes,
from voting.
I have not played that one yet, so I can weigh in later.
All right, then we got Starward Rogue.
Nay. Can we go to nay
It's
right now?
basically a sci-fi Binding of Isaac,
Yep.
which I guess if somehow you haven't played the Binding of Isaac games, it's like a top-down, kind of like a stick shooter, like a twin stick shooter, where you like point right analog stick in the direction, you shoot in that direction. You just kind of fight through mobs and bosses, and it's like a roguelike.
The only major differences it has with Binding of Isaac is that it's more bullet hell shooter-esque than Binding of Isaac, and it's in space.
Yeah, it's got a
Oh.
sci-fi skin.
It has additional difficulties.
Oh, very important.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't have fun playing it at all.
Yeah, I wasn't really into it either.
For what
Also-
it's worth, you don't like Binding of Isaac, though, correct?
Okay, I didn't like Binding of Isaac. What's the new one? Rebirth or Afterbirth or whatever?
Afterbirth.
I've played some of that from Aaron's account. I think it's better.
It is better, yeah.
It's tolerable, at least. I could see myself playing some of that on occasion if I was bored.
Basically, Starward Rogue is a less good version of Binding of Isaac.
I would not
think.
play Star Wars Rogue. Also,
Yeah.
it looks awful. I don't like the graphics at all.
I'm not super into it
Yeah,
either.
kind of the same.
Yeah. I mean, I'm into the bullet hell idea of turning this kind of game into more of a bullet hell dodgy type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll talk about that more with Disc Room, I guess. But
If you
I
like
don't know. I
that,
still think Binding of Isaac is better.
if you like that, Enter the Gungeon's real good.
It's true. But yeah, I think before we do yay or nays, I think this is just another one where like it's not a bad game, but they've chosen a style that puts it directly in competition with a much better game,
Yeah.
like Poi and kind of Planet of the Eyes as well, where it's like
Right.
blatantly ripping off a just straight up superior game.
Blatantly ripping off a superior game, and it's doing so with a generic setting and atmosphere
Yeah,
and a bad look.
basically adding nothing. So I'm gonna say nay for Starward Rogue.
I agree.
Gonna say yay, but just because I really like this style of game.
Ugh.
You gotta be so contrary.
Yeah, sorry.
So
And then
2 to
we-
1.
No,
Yeah.
1-2.
1-2.
1-2, man.
Whatever.
Yeah, keep the yays on the first side. Anyway,
Then we got COD Blops 3 multiplayer starter pack.
So this is important. It's not the full game. It is only the competitive multiplayer. You cannot play the campaign. You cannot play zombies, and you can only level up to level 55.
Yeah, which is just you basically means you can't prestige, right?
Yeah, you can't prestige.
Okay. That's not devastating,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say.
Now, what's max level before prestige? Is it 55?
I was gonna
Yeah.
guess 100. Is it just 55?
Oh, really? I thought it was 55.
I don't
mean,
know
I
for
don't
sure.
know.
I haven't really.
Whatever.
I haven't played that much because I can only level 55.
Can play up to 55. But I mean, I don't know. It's still the same Call of Duty multiplayer. Like,
Yeah.
there's small adjustments. There was some lady with a sword when we were playing, and she made
Annoying.
it way fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
She
I
was
really
just
loved her
standing
being
around corners and waiting for people to run past her.
Yes.
So it's the same Call of Duty you know and love. Or
The only
hate.
bonus it has is each class has a certain ability that they get a couple times per game, and those are pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, didn't really do anything for me.
I
I mean,
had a
it's
bow.
fine if you're into, the Call of Duty multiplayer. But if you're into the Call of Duty multiplayer, you probably already have this one.
Yep, it's true.
There's also some free running, which I don't know if that just started in this one or if it was from other Call of Duties, but
It
it's
just
in there.
started in this one, really.
Okay. Well,
Is it not
I
in
don't
Advanced
think
Warfare?
it adds much.
There are similar
had
games
s-
that do it better, like Titan.
They had it
Titanfall.
not the same. It was different in Advanced Warfare.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah, I don't
bad Titanfall parkour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's kinda slow,
So
yeah.
doing it in combat, you're just gonna die. Like you're just giving them an easier target.
Especially for
I
a
feel
game
like.
as fast as Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
I
And then
don't
this is
particularly like Call of Duty anyway, so.
yeah, I haven't really been into Call of Duty for a while, so this
Same.
is kind of a biased review,
Yeah.
I guess. I also feel like it bears mentioning that the controls start with right-click toggling iron sights, rather than just like, I don't know,
Holding. Rather than
holding.
just holding
Yeah.
it.
Which, who
It's so
has
bad.
ever wanted to play with toggled iron sights? That
No one
is
wants that.
so awful. Nobody has ever wanted that. So just, I mean, obviously you can change that. It takes like 5 seconds to change, but it's annoying as shit. So, just because of that, I'm saying that.
I'm saying nay because I don't like that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
That's fair.
nay as well because I'm not a big Call of Duty fan.
Yeah. I
Part
mean,
of that might be because I'm so bad, but whatever.
whatever. Then we got Random Access Murder, the Humble Monthly debut.
This is a first-person arena shooter, I guess. You start out with one weapon, which is the only weapon you can deal damage with, and you can pick up unique weapons on the map that apply effects to enemies instead of dealing damage to them. So it'll make pop-ups appear on their screen, or minimize their screen to a fake Windows desktop, rubber band them in place, things like that.
Yeah, that's definitely the coolest thing this game has going for it. Because like when the pop-ups come up, you literally have to like use your mouse to click on the X buttons on your screen. You can't like aim anymore or shoot. Like it's pretty neat, but I feel like the gameplay doesn't really live up to it. Like the modes, there's no scorekeeping, there's no winner or loser. You just kind of kill each other endlessly. There's no modes that I'm aware of other than just like deathmatch.
There's a couple other modes.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, I do not
What are the
remember
other
what
modes?
they
Do you know? Okay.
I don't remember what they are.
So that is my one problem with this game, that the rounds never end and there's no score screen. Like you just have to back out if you want to do something different or change the map or whatever. Everything else about this game I love.
Yeah,
The
I
aesthetic
like-
is super, super cool.
Yeah.
Like they take all the common computer glitches that you'd find across all games that you played growing up and like use it as mechanics. It's just like super interesting.
It is. It's a very cool concept. I
The
agree.
fact that
It
you
is
can
very
only hurt people with your primary weapon that has infinite ammo, your dumb pistol thing, and everything else just applies effects. I've never seen that in anything else.
Yeah, it's a very cool idea.
I think it's much better because otherwise you have that situation where whoever gets the rocket launcher is just like the winner.
Wins, yeah.
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 I
And
think
you didn't-
having limiting it to effects keeps it more
You
balanced.
didn't mention the rocket launcher effect, which is my favorite effect, which
Oh,
is
go
when
for
you
it.
hit somebody, it turns your screen to ASCII characters. And if you ever seen like those pictures and forms or whatever that people build out of ASCII characters to make like some person's face or something, it is basically like you're playing the game through that, like a moving version of that. It just looks super cool.
It is
makes
very
lots
cool.
of modem sounds to reconnect, right?
That is
Yep.
true. Yeah.
Your health is actually your RAM, and basically people are shooting you and filling up your memory. and basically once it overflows, you die.
And then
you blue screen.
go for it, Caleb.
I was gonna say they're memory leak guns, apparently,
Yeah.
according to this.
And then instead of just like having health regen, after you like stop taking damage for a while, you just have garbage collection and it just clears your RAM back to 0, which is pretty clever.
Yeah.
It's also clever.
And Jake found a lovely glitch where you can sometimes go inside of walls.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
really
still not
intentional.
sure if that's intentional or not.
It
Yeah.
seems very intentional,
It
along with
does-
everything
it
else in the
feels
game.
intentional. Yeah, but
So you can like hide inside of walls and pop out and kill people and stuff.
definitely a cool game.
Very cool.
I would give it a yay.
Also a yay.
I think I'll also give it a yay.
I'll give it a yay.
You don't
There it is,
Get outta here.
unanimous. All right, good stuff. Then we got the Humble Original Disc Room. This is like
Nay.
come on, man.
Just
I haven't even
nay.
explained it yet. It's like a top-down dodge 'em up. Basically, you're this guy in a room, and saw blades start spawning in the middle, and you have to survive in the room for 30 seconds. And there's a ton of levels, and they get progressively harder. There's all kinds of variant saw blades, like the normal one just kind of bounce around the room. Then there's ones that kind of move in circles. There's ones that leave a trail of fire behind them. There's ones that split into like 4 different saw blades. There's one that has like a slow-mo field around it. I really like
That's
this
the
kind of
worst
game.
one.
Yeah, that makes it way tougher. Oh, and then there's also, you have a slow-mo gauge that you can toggle to actually slow down time to kind of precisely move through the saw blades, which I am not very good with. But in theory, it would let you get out of kind of a sticky situation and just kind of dodge
To be fair,
Matrix style.
you're also slow when
Yeah.
the slow-mo is engaged, so you can't like just move at normal speed to get around stuff while it's kind of paused.
It's more
Yeah.
for
It's
precise
more-
controls.
Yeah, it's more for like planning, I think.
Yeah.
Like if you have a ton of stuff coming at you, you're like, oh my gosh, slow-mo for just a second, holy crap. And you're like, okay, if I go to the right and then up, I can get out of this. And then you just do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I
I
mean,
like that game a lot. It's really fun.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I like playing shoot 'em ups or shmups or bullet hells or whatever you want to call them. And basically, I play those games exactly the way I would play this one, except for I'm holding a fire button the entire time.
Yeah. No, I'll agree.
So I'm not like when I play those games, I'm just dodging stuff. I'm not like trying to precisely shoot. So that this just eliminates the screen wide beam that I'm shooting out of my ship.
Yeah. Plus, this also has a feature that I really liked about like Super Meat Boy, where you respawn, you just hit a button, and it's like, okay, you're back.
Yep, right back
There's
in.
no like, oh, you lost. Are you sure you want to restart? It's just like you hit the button, it's like, okay, you're back in. And only having to do it for like 30 seconds means you never lose like, tons of progress.
Mhm.
Like the most you're gonna lose is like 25 seconds. But yeah, I would definitely give this a yay.
Me too.
I'll give it a nay.
I'll give it a yay.
Boom!
Very,
Suck
very
it.
boring.
It's an awesome game. I hate to say it, but I think I gotta give it a nay this month.
Yeah, I think the clones are just too much. I gotta also
It
give
was,
it a
yeah.
nay. I mean, there
I
are
like
some
this
good ones in
bundle.
here, but
You guys could get out.
this is the first bundle you've actually opened and played. So I feel like it's hard for you to sort of
Well,
compare.
To be fair, I look at them a bunch, and I usually own like at least half the games. This one,
You
I
looked
only
at 'em
owned-
a bunch.
I've only owned, what is it? Van Helsing. I guess if you count Call of Duty, I own that one too. I don't know why I own it.
Okay, so we're looking at like a 1 to 2. I guess Aaron
I'm
can
gonna-
win.
I like it.
He's like a half
well,
on
I've
this.
played halfway through these games so far, but I'm gonna give it a already
A what?
A what?
a nay.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
So we're 1 to 3 here. 1 to
I
Yeah.
feel
2
like
and a half.
you guys said yay on way more than you said nay, but then overall you gave it a nay.
Well, I mean, it was nay for Van Helsing, nay for Poi, Planet of the Eyes, Star Wars Rogue, and Call of Duty.
Okay, never mind. Now that you,
Yeah.
you make a good point.
Again, though, I want to say it's not like the games were bad. It's just there are better options
Yeah.
for almost all of them.
I would buy this bundle strictly for Planet of the Eyes and Disc Room.
Yeah,
To be
this
fair,
group's
the
the only
bundles
one to
are
me that appeals.
very cheap.
Like if this,
Yes.
if I saw that price, the $12 or whatever for those 2 games in a bundle, I'd probably get them if I knew. If I had already played some of them, I guess.
I believe the MSRP for this bundle is $125.
Wow. And it's what, 12 for
12.
the
Deal.
monthly?
Yep. Or
Well,
11
that's pretty good.
if you decide to do a whole year subscription thing.
Ooh,
You can make it cost less.
you basically get 1 bundle free.
Exactly.
Why have I not done that?
It says exactly that. You get 1 bundle free.
But yeah, okay. So that wraps up the Humble Rumble bundle.
Perfect.
The Mumble bundle
Nailed it.
grundle.
Nailed it.
Love it.